Hey guys, Ailoupup here. Today is my stats video for 2019. I did one of these last year and I really enjoyed it, so I thought I would do it again this year. And I do have my paper in front of me, so I am going to be reading a few of these stats, or all of them rather, because I can't remember everything off the top of my head. So starting with, I read a total of 53 books with a total of 15,459 pages and 82 hours and 40 minutes for the audiobooks. Of those books, 28 were female authors and 14 were male. For the ones that had more than one author, because there were a few, 5 of them were primarily female, 5 of them had male and female, and 1 of them were primarily male. 8 of them were primarily American, 32 were just American. That is for the ones that just had a single author. 5 of them were Canadian, 4 were English, 1 was Indian, 1 was Japanese, 1 primarily Canadian, and 1 Australian. For the genres I read, 1 was supernatural, 3 alternate history, 7 YA fantasy, 1 historical fiction, 1 contemporary, 3 autobiography or biography, 4 young adult, 4 middle grade fantasy, 2 self-help, 7 fantasy, 2 nonfiction, 5 children's literature, 1 that I classified as video game illustrations because I didn't know what else to call it, 1 dystopian, 1 thriller, 2 historical romance, 1 mythology, 1 paranormal romance. Sorry if you could hear that. That is my landlord's dog. 1 realistic fiction, 1 romance, 1 mystery, 1 adventure fiction, 2 middle grade. I'll be right back. Sorry about that. He wanted to go outside. Of those books, for the format that I read them in, 39 were paperback, 8 were hardcover, 4 were ebooks, and 2 were audiobooks. For the protagonists, 15 were male, 25 were female. I didn't read any that had primarily male protagonists, but 11 that were male and female, 1 that was primarily female, and 1 that I classified as not applicable. I don't remember what book that was. I'll put a thing up here somewhere saying what book I classified it as not applicable. Oh, that probably actually was the video game illustrations one. Never mind. The species of the protagonist, because this is a stat that I had for some reason. 41 were human, which does not surprise me. 4 were cat, 5 were dog, 1 was immortal, 1 was an ostrich, and 1 was a bear. Those last 2 would have been children's books that I read. For the narrative, 15 were in first person, and 33 were in third, and 5 had both first and third. The rating that I gave them, I gave 1 a 1 star, 4 2 stars, 15 3 stars, 12 4 stars, and 21 5 stars. So I had a fairly good reading year last year, and reread for books that I reread. 24 were books that I had reread, and 29 were new books. So that's actually not too bad. I had a pretty good reading year. So those were the stats that I kept in 2019. I'm keeping stats again this coming year, though I do have some new stats. Mainly, I'm also keeping track of new authors as well. And I'm hoping that I'm going to read more or listen to more audiobooks, as I said in my goals videos. So I'm also keeping track of my narrators, although I did keep track of my narrators this year as well, but I only read 2 audiobooks and both by the same narrators, so I didn't really think it necessary. Davina Porter for the Outlander audiobooks, in case you were wondering. I didn't really think it necessary to really put that in my stats. Anyways, let me know in the comments what some of your more interesting stats are, and I will see you next time for a new video. Bye!